Today I'm going to talk about the role of personal ethics in our lives and our own personal decision-making processes. When you look at ethics in the big picture, we can see that it is specific behavior in a given situation. Now, depending on the situation that you have been dealt, sometimes our behavior will change. Let's watch a quick video.
Say what? Dear robot ethicist, Mr. Anderson pays me $6 an hour to mow his lawn. It usually takes me 2 hours, but last week I got it done 30 minutes faster. He already paid me in advance. Is it ethical for me to keep the money? From Amber. You're the paper's new ethics columnist? Okay, let's see your response. Dear Amber, ethical schmethical, just live in the moment. Best, Moby.
Now put yourself in that situation we just watched in that video. In your mind, make up a decision for yourself as to what you would do in this situation. Now, as I ask you these few questions, think about the conclusion you came to and the consequences you might get from your decision. Will I sleep soundly tonight knowing I made that decision? Will this decision make me think negatively about myself? How will my decisions affect others? And is it morally right? Now, when you think of those questions and your answers, you might not be aware of it, but the conclusion that you came to is the result of being greatly influenced by a number of different external factors. If we look at a model developed by Jane Ann McLaughlin, we see that ethics can be broken down into two categories, morals and duty. When we look at morals, we determine the concept of right and wrong and good and bad. But when we look at duty, we see it as an obligation based upon our role in the given situation. From there, we can break it down even further and see that the decision of morals or duty can be made from values and important principles that either believe in or can make assumptions about. Beliefs are our personal conscious convictions about the meaning of life and our purpose, whereas assumptions are the unconscious sense of that's just how things are. The difference there being conscious and unconscious decisions. Where are the decisions rooted from? What influence do certain things have on our decisions? So this is where we can dive in deeper and see that our decision-making process in regards to ethical principles are highly influenced by external factors. The first factor that I want to touch upon is family. Believe it or not, the influence that family has on our personal ethical decision-making process is quite substantial. Since some of our earliest experiences are rooted in our families, they have the opportunity to mold and shape us into the people we are today. Typically, someone's values, beliefs, and morals are passed down from family members. For example, if I look at my own life, I can see that my family has played a huge role in influencing me. And as people grow up and find significant others, it is also their families that help to influence your decisions and values. Even though the family has influenced you in certain regards, you still have the power and individualism to accept and or reject the values that they have bestowed upon you. Another external influencer is religion and spirituality. Whether you have been raised in a religious home or not, our beliefs about the meaning of life have probably at some point or another had influence by religion and spirituality. These can be passed down from us in written, formal teaching, worship services, and from our parents and family members.
He has a medical ID. It must have broken off.
Wait, what's it say? What's he allergic to?
Oh, God.
What is he allergic to? Okay, stop! He's a Jehovah's Witness. We can't give him blood. As his surgeon, I urge you to let us give him the best chance we can. Let us give him blood.
We have seen amazing miracles through prayer. If it's God's will. So you won't allow blood? Even if it's going to save his life? Because prayer...
Buffy, we appreciate all you're doing for our boy. But your blood wouldn't save his life, it would condemn him. Living with it would be so much worse for him than dying without it.
We understand. We will do everything in our power to keep your son alive.
And again, as adults, we can adjust our belief to understand life at a more complex level because of the experiences and knowledge we have gained. As adults, we have a deeper understanding of the purpose of life and how that is influenced by religion and spirituality. Another external influencer is education, and the way that early education has a huge influence over our values and morals. Teachers and faculty are responsible for instilling certain characteristics and traits to you like respect for others, no cheating, plagiarism, no physical violence, etc. As well as formal educational systems for developing morals and values, there is also experimental education that encourages constant learning and encourages you to examine your personal beliefs and values. Another influencer to our personal ethics are our friends and colleagues. As young children, peer groups begin to develop, and the people that you spend a lot of time with and around will have an impact on your behavior, morals, and beliefs.
Having lunch with the plastics was like leaving the actual world and entering Girl World. And Girl World had a lot of rules.
You can't wear a tank top 2 days in a row, and you can only wear your hair in a ponytail once a week. So I guess you pick today. Oh, and we only wear jeans or track pants on Fridays. Now, if you break any of these rules, you can't sit with us at lunch. Well, I mean, not just you, like any of us. Okay, like if I was wearing jeans today, I would be sitting over there with the art freaks. Oh, and we always vote before we ask someone to eat lunch with us because you have to be considerate of the rest of the group. Well, I mean, you wouldn't buy a skirt without asking your friends first if it looks good on you.
I wouldn't?
Right. Oh, and it's the same with guys. Like, you may think you like someone, but you could be wrong.
This is also true for the workplace. As a lot of our time is spent with our colleagues, they have the power to change and alter our beliefs and morals depending on the strength of these beliefs. For example, if we are in a business meeting and one person makes a suggestion, even though we don't necessarily believe in that idea or thought, we might be altered and influenced to change our opinions in that given situation. The last external influence that I want to talk about is social culture. Back 100 years ago, social culture wasn't as big as it is today. Now more than ever, people are very strongly influenced by their involvement in social culture because of the influx of TV, radio, social media, and news discussions happening every day. When we are involved in the social culture, we are forced to filter them through our own personal perception of reality and analyze how they line up with our own personal beliefs and culture. Social culture has the power to lead people towards different conclusions on what is valued and their influence in their lives, like tobacco and alcohol use, for example. Now, as we have looked at these external factors, I encourage you to take a look at your own life and analyze the process in which you make your decisions. Everyone is different, and we all have different beliefs, values, morals, and duties that we all see as having different importances in our lives. For me, looking back, I can see that my family and religion has been the most influence in my life and the decisions that I make. What are your main external influencers? When you look at the big picture, what role does this theory have in our life? If we can understand the idea that each and every one of our decisions we make is developed from a greater idea of external influencers, we can see our greater purpose in the world. Having the knowledge of external influencers and the decision-making process will help us to analyze ourselves and see where our morals and values are rooted from. When we can see the influence that these factors have on us, we can see the bigger picture and understand people and their behavior a little better.
Decision making, helping people understand what they should do and should not do. This ethical system is the result of an individual's personal values, which come from upbringing, culture, education, and experience. As such, ethics are both environmental and a personal decision. If you look at a person's ethics in business, it's like a personalized value statement, similar to the one the organization has on the wall. And while this one applies to individuals, it may cover some of the same things. When you think of personal ethics, here are some of the elements involved. It starts with honesty. There's a lot to this word. It's more than just telling the truth. It also means being sincere. So you're not only telling the truth, but you mean it.